Good day everyone. In this session, I will discuss to you the materials evaluation. But before we proceed to our discussion, let's have an activity first. So what are you going to do is to arrange the scrambled letters using the picture. So let's start. If your answer is motivation, you are correct. Next, participation is the correct answer. Next is the correct answer is instructional. And lastly, the answer is follow up. Let's proceed to our discussion. What is materials evaluation? When we say evaluation, it involves making a judgment or learning materials, for example, if it is effective or not. In materials evaluation, you need to undertake the step-by-step procedure in measuring the importance of the material. So in materials evaluation, it tries to measure the following. First is the appeal of the material to the learners. So materials should be appealing to the students. Using appealing learning materials, it makes the student become attentive to the lesson. It must be attention grabber. The material should catch the eyes of the reader. Next is the credibility of materials to learners, teachers, and administrators. We must consider this question. Is our material trustworthy? Is the information we provide believable and or worthy of trust? So in materials evaluation, it is one thing to be considered, the credibility of materials. Next is the validity of materials. When you say validity, it is the quality of being correct or true. For example, we believe that something is true if it is backed up with a substantial amount of evidence. We are hesitant to believe someone until they provide or presented an evidence. Next is the reliability of materials. The consistency with which a method measures something is known as reliability. Reliability determines the value of materials. Reliability refers to how consistently a method measures something. The measurement is considered reliable if the same result can be regularly achieved using the same procedures under the same conditions. Next is the ability of the materials to interest the learners and teachers. So it must have something that makes the student and teacher become interested in learning using the learning materials. Next is the ability of materials to motivate the learners. So your materials must provide something to help motivate the students or the learners. Next is the value of materials in terms of short-term learning. Your material consider the value of materials in performance on test and examination. Next is the value of materials in terms of long-term learning of both language and communication skills. So, materials should provide worth or usefulness in both language and communication. And learners' perception of the value of the materials. So, It must also consider the perception of both teacher and student to the usefulness and importance of the materials. Next is the assistance given to the teachers in terms of preparation, delivery, and assessment. Those are the things that we need to consider in evaluating materials. Let us proceed to the reasons and purposes of materials evaluation. Ever think about what is the reason or what is the purpose of materials evaluation? So according to RUBD 2003, the purpose of materials evaluation is to measure the potential of what the teachers and learners can do with them in the classroom. In use and post-use of evaluation are important is in establishing how successful learning materials are. So the purpose of materials evaluation is for us to be able to determine which aspects of previous materials are popular and successful. That will help us produce better materials. And with that knowledge, we will be able to choose which materials is suitable for language programs and provide the needs of the students and the needs of teaching. So materials and evaluation is important para mas ma-develop o mas ma-enhance pa nato ang materials in which for example, in which part of the materials need pa og improvement o kailangan pa nimo siya i-develop para mas may mo siyang effective sa mga learners or sa mga students. What is materials evaluation? Materials evaluation is a procedure that involves measuring the value of a set of learning materials, and it involves making judgments and about the effect of materials on people using them. Next, what is the purpose of materials evaluation? First is to select the course book and to determine the effectiveness of course book while they are used. And according to Tomlinson and Mashura, the purpose of evaluation is for development of material and identifying the potential strength and weaknesses of materials for selection and development purposes.